Hello. Is there anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? I'm back. And I'm back with the video. So, shit, I'm forget what this. Hold on. So, I noticed that when I'm here and I put a video on, it seems like everybody listens to it. So, I want to hear this video, okay? And I ask for you to do a simple favor. Just subscribe and give your girl a like. Okay? Give this weird girl a like. And here we go. Let's watch this video. Let's listen to it.
What is parental alienation? It is a process of one parent influencing a child to turn against and reject the other parent without legitimate justification. The alienating parent can also be a grandparent, a step-parent, and even a non-family member. Parental alienation can occur even when the relationship between the targeted child and targeted parent was once a very positive one. Causes of parental alienation. The challenge for a family following separation is to transition from an intact family structure to a separated family structure that is now united by the children and by the continuing parental roles and shared bonds of affection with the child. Sometimes the emotional reactions and psychological functioning of one parent in response to the separation prevents this transition. When this occurs, children can be exposed to that parent's continuing anger and sadness. Alienating parents tend to externalize unwanted emotions and responsibilities. They display an abnormal grieving response and demonstrate severe cognitive distortions, like abnormal thinking patterns that are difficult to challenge. Alienating tactics used by the alienating parents include damaging the loving connection between the child and targeted parent, unreasonably interfering with time the child spends with the targeted parent, eradicating the targeted parent from their child's life, purposefully withholding information about the child from the targeted parent, making decisions about the child without consulting the targeted parent, denigrating the targeted parent, making false allegations of abuse against the targeted parent, utilising support services to facilitate their campaign of denigration and false allegations of abuse, emotionally manipulating the child, demanding that the child chooses a side in a custody dispute, encouraging the child to have an unhealthy dependence on them, inappropriately disclosing adult information about the targeted parent and custody dispute to the children, encouraging the child to be defiant towards the targeted parent. The impact of parental alienation on the child. The impact of parental alienation can last for years or even a lifetime. They are taught to have a perception of an all-wonderful alienating parent and all-bad targeted parent. As a result, alienated children experience disrupted social emotional development as a consequence of parental alienation. Alienated children experience complex grief for the loss of a parent who is still alive. Because this loss is a result of emotional manipulation, alienated children experience psychological difficulties associated with this type of trauma and abuse. Parental alienation causes emotional pain for children. The long-term outcomes of parental alienation on children include social isolation, fragile sense of self, anger, depression, and anxiety. It denies children a normal childhood free from parental conflict and denies them a relationship with both parents. It can also prevent a child from having a relationship with the alienated parent's family.
Mm-hmm.
Alienated children display unjustified contempt for the alienated parent and an attitude of entitlement towards the alienated parent. The consequences for alienated parents. The loss of a child is devastating. Alienated parents also experience complex grief for the loss of their child who is still alive. This loss is compounded by being denigrated and vilified as part of the alienation process. Alienated parents experience despair, helplessness, frustration, anger, and confusion. Many alienated parents experience significant financial and emotional costs associated with trying to find a resolution in a legal system and mental health services that do not understand parental alienation.
Parental alienation is psychological abuse. Parental alienation is family violence.
So, you guys just heard what parental alienation is. For if you heard it before, parental alienation has affected more than 22 million adults. 22 million. More than 4 million children. 47% of those have committed suicide. I think we have a problem. I think we have a huge problem on our hands. And it's not just one child. It's not just one child. It's many children. Thousands and thousands and thousands of children. It's like here in Arizona, there's more than 14,000 children in CPS with 4,000 foster homes. So what do they do with the other 10,000 children? I mean, why are they just taking children out of their home when they're not supposed to? I mean, it's understandable if it's a parent that the child needs to be separated from the parent. But when the child doesn't and they separate them, it's a trauma for the parent, it's trauma for the child. And it needs to stop. And the only way it's going to stop if we unite and speak out. Speak our mind. You know? I mean, I come on YouTube and make a total fool of myself. Like if you were my diary. When is all this going to stop? Does anybody hear me? Is there anybody there? There's nobody there. There's nobody there.